Ramel, how you feeling?
Never better. This box opened up, I think, about 3.5 years ago. Jimmy always says that, and I was the first sign up. I was the first member. Yeah, and it was funny because I walked in. I was, CrossFit, there was a buzz, and this opened up, and so I went in, and I saw a guys going up and down the rope like spiders, and I was about to walk out. I'm like, there's no way that's gonna happen. And so Jimmy stopped me, and Jimmy was Jimmy, so I ended up signing up right there.
So we had CrossFit Ethos, and then this was our second CrossFit Ethos location. And we did like a grand opening workout, and he walked up and he's like, I'm in, and he was our guy. He signed up right away.
I was looking for something new, something different, to be interesting. And like I said, the CrossFit was the buzz, and I wanted to see if I could handle that scary stuff. I wanted to see if I could what I could do with everybody else. So I'm glad I stuck around.
He has always been just very enthusiastic, very full of life, kind of larger than life for most of the time that I've known him. When he wants something, he wants it passionately, and he goes after it with a single-mindedness that not many other people have. So he's like getting swept up in a tornado, and a good one.
Actually, the first 3 or 4 times, I said to myself, I'm never coming back, I'm never coming back. And I came back every time, and then it kind of got addictive, and you make friends here. It's more than a community, and it started becoming, I'm here to hang out with my friends. I mean, the workout it's great, it's scary still, but it really is a family and friends here. What we found out on July 22nd, I remember the date well, I was really sick, right? I was throwing up, I couldn't walk straight, everything in my body just hurt. Now I look back and I think there were signs of this before, right? I would when I played tennis, for example, I'd fall or trip because I didn't have control over my legs. I said for a while that, when I was describing it, that I felt like I had marionette legs, and I would move like that. So looking back, there's some symptoms, but anyways, on that night I went to the hospital, and they diagnosed me with metastasized lung cancer that went to the brain.
He's become the spirit of Cinco. He really is. He's the spirit, he's our friend. He's I respect the hell out of him and his family. He's our mascot. Literally, he is. He's just he comes in, he's smiling, and here's a guy that was told that he was terminal cancer. Yeah, they told him 18 weeks ago that he had 6 weeks to live. Somewhere around there, I don't remember the exact part, because he has become this excitement in the gym, and he shows up every day, and if he's not working out, he pops in anyway. And he can't do an event or can't be here, and he's got chemo the day and he's just not feeling great, he'll pop in, he'll take pictures. He's always around. He has these friendships in the gym, and he's accepted it, and he's just like, hey, this is gonna happen. There are guys that he's tight with that'll literally walk out of the class that they're in, and they're going on a work trip, and they'll turn around back into the gym like, Ramel, I'll see you in 3 days, right? Don't you croak while I'm gone, I want to be around. And he's like, they'll just joke back and forth. It's a full acceptance, but that joking comes out of, absolute love for him.
I can make a decision. I can choose to be sad and depressed, and all the time, or I could choose to be happy. I could choose to, sit balled up in a corner crying, or I could choose to be positive and make this actually a positive thing in my life. So I chose obviously the latter of both, and it's worked for me. The support and love we got from all our friends and family was overwhelming and humbling. But it's these guys, it's CrossFit guys, it's Mads and it's Jimmy, and the whole community rallying around me. We have an ongoing debate among my wife and my doctors and me, and the debate is this. The doctors and my wife think, look, I'm fighting cancer and I need to save energy to fight cancer. And my response is, I'm fighting cancer. I need to be as strong as I can to fight cancer. And that's what CrossFit is doing for me. It's making me stronger to beat this thing.
He's a fighter, and I have such a hard time talking about him, honestly, because I have all these feelings and you really can't put into words Ramel.
Such a tremendous sense of community and support for him. He's always embraced just everything about CrossFit and the mentality and the support and the camaraderie with everyone there, that when he hit a period of adversity in his life, that was such, he calls me a rock, but I think CrossFit was just as much of a rock for him because it gave him something to focus on as well. Not only a support system, but it gave him a place to go, a group of people to be with that was separate from his family, because I think that's important.
Think about it. They not only have a guy who has brain cancer, and who knows what that means, but we know that the main tumor is on top of my brainstem. So that affects muscle coordination and gross and fine motor skills. So doing anything on the bar, lifting stuff and doing jump ropes, we got to think about it going, all right, well, will muscle coordination or anything that affect it? So there's these modifications that these guys do every day that I'm here. So that's a lot of work for them.
He said to me a couple of weeks ago, he pulled me aside when there was a big warm up, and he said, hey, am I putting you in a bad position here? Am I making you, am I putting you in some extreme liability by being here?
He asked that?
He asked me that. And I look at him and I'm like, Ramel, bro, you're putting me in extreme liability by not being here, you have to be here. And he did one of those, I love you, man. And he gave me and we just ended up tearing up, and I'm just like, dude.
So Flat Stanley is something that kids use, usually from school, but it's a little black and white, one-dimensional cartoon of a guy named Stanley, and it's a cutout. And what happens is these people, they have friends and family, they send them off to different countries and they take pictures with Flat Stanley all over the world.
We took Flat Ramel with us on a vacation.
Yeah, Flat Ramel was basically this stick figure and picture of Ramel, and everyone, when they were traveling, they'd grab him off the board and take them with them and snap pictures and wherever, Cabo or across the world or just on a work trip or in the plane seat next to them, and it was, and he loved that.
And it was crazy where this Flat Ramel went. It's been all over the world. There's a picture of him with, I'm a huge tennis fan, there's a picture of him with Rafael Nadal having a picture, having signed the Flat Stanley. And there's one with Venus, or Yeah, Venus Williams, and there's like, it's amazing where this guy's been. I'm actually pretty jealous. I think one of my goals, and I said this to you guys earlier, was I want to get to the point where if you didn't know me, you wouldn't think that, hey, that guy has cancer. He's kind of like, you know, I want them to know me and like go, I don't want them to think anything, right? And I'm getting there, I think, and obviously we're getting stronger, and that obviously is centered around CrossFit as well. These guys won't let me quit. I mean, I won't, but they won't let me. The guys will text me, they'll be whatever, it's like, I'll see you at class, I'll see you at 4:30. I still wake up in the morning saying, I'm the luckiest guy in the world. Because the only thing that's changed is now, right? Now there's a clock on me. Now, we don't know what that clock is. I mean, originally it was 4 to 6 weeks, but obviously that doctor's lost his credibility in my eyes.
We kind of knew that it wasn't going to be the 6 weeks. It's just not in Romel's spirit. You know, it's not in his, I don't think it's in his plan at all. You know what I mean? When we took back over this box, because we were CrossFit Ethos and we had built that name off of, you know, just living the proper ethos, you know, with character and honesty and just a good way of life. So when we were thinking about, well, what are we going to name this box? You know, we've always been Ethos. And we were just, it's got to be something near, like something with the roots of Ethos, because that was really how we see our community. And then it just hit us. Romel Cinco. Well, Cinco CrossFit, you know, and it just happened to be our 5th location, you know, at the time. So we were just like, Cinco CrossFit. Like, the word Cinco to this community is Romel. You know, it is that character, it's that spirit, it's that you know, person or beacon.
Positive.
Yeah, that he is the person that every single box owner would love to see walk through their doors. So there's nothing better for us than to have him as our namesake.
You know, people say the word, people say this word all the time, and I'm so uncomfortable with it. People say that people use the inspiration word, and I'm uncomfortable with that for a lot of reasons, not the least of which is I don't think it's deserved. In the respect of this, if you had the support that I've had, like the family and friends and what they've done, I mean, they've done 2 teams for Relay for Life, right? They've done, like I said, the Flat Stanley. They have dinners right now we were having dinners every Friday night at my place with some of the guys, and I just talked. They had they named the box after me. Who does that? I have no idea what to say to something like as amazing as this. I have no idea. I still don't, other than thank you. So the word, back to the word inspiration, like there's no way anybody could feel anything but positive, anything but good with the support and love that I've had. There's no way. I think that I'm a product of their support. That's how I look at it.
He'd come up and he'd give us these hugs and he's like, I love you. Like, no, I really love you. And he would say that to Madeline and I, and like you have no idea what your community and our community has done for me and us and my family.
You look at my life and I love it, right? Family, friends, everything. Like I wake up every morning, I'm like, there's nothing I want more. And so it feels a little selfish, like fighting for more days, because I've had a great life. I have a great life. But I'll fight for every second more so I could continue to be with everybody. But I've had a great life. So, thanks, Jimmy. Thanks, Matt. I love you guys. I love you guys so much.